are set up and good to go. See if YouTube's got us swinging. There we go. We are good to go on YouTube. All right, guys, if you are here for the Dynasty Price Check live roster reviews, we apologize for the delay. We were actually just finishing recording an episode of the Dynasty Trade Titans. It'll be out this Tuesday with a special guest. This week's special guest is Dynasty Endgame over on YouTube. If you guys haven't already checked his channel out, definitely want to go check him out and be ready for an awesome trade show breaking down your guys' trades. If you're looking for a way to submit to be featured on the show, your way is going to be to go to the Dynasty Price Check website that you see right up here on my page and click on the click on the Trade Titans trade submittal link. It is also available in the Discord, totally free to join in the description of this live stream as well. We're going to jump right in here. And Chris, you're going to be my first guy up. Chris, why don't you go ahead and request to come up on stage for me if you can, and I will approve you. And then you and I can talk one-on-one here, and we can have a nice little conversation. There we go. Invite to speak. All right, Chris, let's break it down, man. Go ahead and let me know what your sleeper username is, and we'll dive right on in, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, brother. How we doing?
Good. So my username is Zero Base Grit, and then I sent the league ID in the chat. First time I'm doing this, so I'm not sure exactly how or what you need. You know what I mean?
Dude, honestly, the cool part is with the lovely tool that MJ Walsh built for us over here, all I need is a sleeper username, and we'll pull up all the list of your leagues, and we'll be good to go. But did you say zero based, Chris?
Bass like the guitar.
Oh, bass. Lovely.
Yeah,
Okay.
bass. Bass like the fish, guitar, whatever.
And is it Chris or Crust?
Yeah. Crust is the username, but my real name's Chris. You know.
I figured that much. All right, man. Zero base, Chris. What did I miss here? Is it a zero number zero?
Oh, I'm sorry. Grit. Zero base grit. Sorry.
No worries. Okay, cool. Let's dive right on in. All right, there we go. Brady Bunch, $20 Super Duper, Quarter Blasters, or Game of Throws?
The Quarter Blasters.
Quarter Blasters. All right, man. Let's dive right on in. All the format stuff will be right up on the screen for you, as MJ Walsh has so lovely built out for us. And Chris, we got here Pittsburgh Pipeliners. It's a 10-team start 11, full point PPR. Doesn't look like we got a tight end premium here, yeah?
No tight end premium.
All right, but we are working with a super flex.
Yes, sir. And just to give you a bit of context, I did come up for the runner-up for the championship. It came down to Puka versus Bijan, and we kind of all know how that went.
Hell yeah. No, dude, I love that. I mean, this looks like a great team. First of all, let's just get it out there. Start 11. I love the build. We've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, Puka Nacua, George Pickens. I mean, that wide receiver room's loaded. Got some depth on the bench too with Devontae Adams there. That's absolutely keeping you in contention here. Now I do see no first this year, but I'm not really too worried about that. We got two young quarterbacks. We got our wide receiver core built out. We got Breece Hall, Bucky Irving, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift. I mean, my man, not to glaze you too much, but this is how to build a team. Guys, take notes, as we got a good example right out of the gate here. Sam Laporta at tight end. Obviously, I actually think Travis Kelce's going to come back, give you another year here. AJ Barner, shout out to my Seahawks there. Love to see it. Rashad White here, probably actually going to get a free agent deal, which I like to see. You kind of got your own handcuff in Braylon Allen, and if Breece leaves, then, maybe you got a starting running back again there. Honestly, man, I think, this is a tough one to start on because I don't have a ton for you. I think my real, suggestion for you here is like, let's just be wary of what the free agent offseason looks like and where these guys kind of end up, because it's very rare I say this, but I think you have like too much running back depth, like if we can, like, and I hate to say it, right? I don't want to even say too much because I don't think there's a thing as too much, right? We're talking about one of the most injury-prone positions in fantasy, right? And so, it's always good to have these reserves, but you're 4 starters deep here. I don't know if Kamara is going to give you a whole lot, but he might give you 8 games this year of PPR upside. Jalen Warren, he's to me a lot of a 1-year rental. I've been diving into the contracts, and after this season, Jalen Warren's getting the boot. So unless he gets a nice extension there, but if Aaron Rodgers comes back, they're going to bring back Gainwell, right? So it's like that's going to be another split backfield. Again, I don't hate it that you have it because you're backing yourself up. I think I'm banking a bit on the fact that I actually do think, as you can see here, I got the nice little sleeper tag next to Rachaad White, and that's because I do think he's going to be a starter somewhere here. And as you guys can see now on the screen, we got all the data and stats up here. MJ Welsh has got it all coordinated, so you can go year by year and look at your player overview and statistics. But I mean, like we remember, Rachaad White's actually giving you some decent seasons here. So I think if he gets a deal, he could be a nice little upside piece for you. To be frank, man, I think I'll give you two things.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you two things that I would immediately jump to.
Yeah, sure.
One, let's be prepared for free agency, right? If Rachaad White signs a solid deal somewhere and looks like someone's willing to actually give you good payment for him, can I take Rachaad White and a bunch of, these other picks, thirds and fourths, and throw a Tyrone Tracy or Tank Dell or whatever? Just keep throwing pieces. I don't know what your league economy is like and if these guys would fall for anything like that to just print yourself like an extra 28 first. I would do it because I think a lot of people aren't going to trade the 27 firsts at this point. Creators have hyped up the class too much, but a 28 first is still a first.
Actually, it's actually funny because pretty much almost all of the 27 firsts are owned by the Pennsylvania Cutterbacks in this league. He's kind of built like a total monopoly over them. I have one of them, and I think there's like one or two other floaters there, but he has like 6 or 7 of them. It's pretty crazy how many he has on that one.
No, he does. You're not wrong. I'm actually looking at him. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's got 6 27 firsts. He's got a good team too, actually. So he's definitely cornering the market here.
Yeah. For sure. Frank, it's definitely a top-heavy league between like 4 or 5 of us that are pretty obvious. It's probably myself, him, Eat a Bag of Nicks, and the Memphis Tigers are probably like the top dogs in the league. But, there's a couple stragglers there. It's tough, though, because, you get the off-season jitters, and I know I do have a decent team, but it's like I feel like I need to improve it somehow because I fell short last year. But, most of the players that I would buy, because I like to buy on discount, like that I would buy on discount, I already have like a Breece Hall or a Kyler Murray or even, like you said, a Rachaad White. It's that kind of tough to figure out what kind of trades I could potentially, maybe make a little smaller move for,
Totally. I mean, look, here's the thing I'll give you, man. Like, I mean, this is where we're kind of at, right? And it's unfortunate that after looking through the stuff that you told me here, right, this guy's kind of hoarding all the young upside running backs, right? He's got Henderson and Hampton and all this, and then a bunch of 27 firsts. But I think, look, again, I'm not going to even, like, not to be mean, I'm not even going to burn too much time on your team because it's actually fantastic. But, like, what I do think is your two real options here, right? One is, like I said, we're going to be wary of what's going to happen in free agency here. If we can print, some extra 28 firsts and stuff by packaging together some guys that get some good boosts, like if Breece Hall leaves, by some chance and Braylon Allen's the starter, like great, package him together with a freshly signed Rachaad White and let's go 28 first shopping, right? Like I'd just rather re-roll and hold the liquidity in other players. Same thing where it's like, okay, if Alvin Kamara starts the year hot, fine, throw a third on him. Can I get a second in 27, and just like have some more extra liquidity to roll with, if Tajay Spears looks fine to start the year, same thing, give me another second. Like, I just don't think you need this much depth. The only other thing I could say is just that I don't really want to change your quarterbacks or running backs or whatever, but if Kyler Murray, I mean, he's going to get signed, right? But if he gets a good landing spot, right? Like, let's say he gets Minnesota or something, right? Now he's got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and, a line that's already been paid in front of him and stuff like that. Assuming he doesn't land in, like, Miami or the Jets or something, you could get a little risky here and go to which I don't hate, and go to a quarterback needy team, and offer them Jordan Love, and roll with your 2 rushing guys and just bank that Kyler Murray is going to come back and be what he was. Because as much as I don't love him in real life, to the degree that I just don't think he's clutch and he struggles in the fourth quarter, and the numbers would prove it to close out games. But guys, like, I know everybody probably remembers, but like, the man is a fantasy monster. Like, he's given you top 10 finishes like almost every season he's played, and so I think he'd probably do it again from a fantasy football perspective. And I am one of the guys that, like, even if Aaron Rodgers doesn't become, the starter of Pittsburgh again, and he does decide to hang it up, like, I normally buy quarterbacks if the situation arises, and I just roll with two. I know it's not popular, but I'd rather, bolster up my other positions. And so if you did want to do that and, try to get an upgrade at the running back position, maybe go like Jordan Love and
Hmm.
and Bucky Irving and swing for the fences. Try to, go get a Genty, and really like cement yourself there to get the ultimate running back combo, and still roll with Henry and Swift as your 3-4 on top of Brees and whatever. I wouldn't hate it, but to be frank, man, that's just not really where I love going with this team. I think fantasy is sometimes just unlucky. You could probably just run it back exactly how you had it and be fine. But be modular in free agency. Take your profits where you can get them, and I think everything will work out for you.
That's fair enough for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that suggestion you had there made me a little bit nervous. I feel like for me personally, just because I had some issues with the quarterbacks with like injuries this year and things like that. If
sure.
I were to do a move like that, it'd be more of like a mid-season. I know Kyler would be good at that point, and two, I hopefully, barring anything, know that I wouldn't get bit by the injury bug again because with Daniels and even Love and Rodgers and Tua and Murray. I mean, they all kind of got injured at one point or another. There was one week I had to roll out Brady Cook, so like it was definitely rough out there.
No, yeah, this is a bad year for injuries, so I don't blame you. But especially at that quarterback position, but I don't blame you. All in all, though, man, I think yeah, like sometimes patience is always decent to employ here, and you got a hell of a squad. And as you probably already know, like if you really wanted to lean all the way in and start playing around with that 28 first and stuff as time goes on before the season, like. And some people are willing to just pack it up already going into the year. Like you said, if it's a top heavy league, like you got my permission to do so. But with all that being said, appreciate you coming through to this one. Sorry, I don't have like a bunch of, blow up moves to make for you, but I think that's just a product of,
No, it's all
of
good.
good management,
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man. All right. Well, Chris, thanks for coming along. Chaz, you are up next, my man. Go ahead and request to come up on stage and I will accept you. We've got Chaz coming up. Guys, if you're watching over on YouTube, this is your friendly reminder to go ahead and hop into the Discord. This is where we run all those events, and you're going to have the chance to come up here and talk about your roster. If you haven't already, hop over to dynastypricecheck.com. Check out this awesome Dynasty Decoder tool made by our lovely moderator and partner, MJ Walsh, over here. We've got Chaz up here. What is good, my man? Thanks for putting the sleeper username already in here for me.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Hell yeah. What league you want to dive into today?
Auction Madness.
Auction
This
Madness.
is
Hell yeah.
There's a bunch of scoring buffs. Like you get a first down, you get half a point.
Okay.
Big plays, over 40 yards, you get a point. And then it's a +1 tight end premium. Start 2 tight ends, 3 flex, 3 wide receivers. So there's a lot of starting spots.
Nice. I like it.
But I only have like a couple studs. So last year
Yeah.
I was a rebuilder, and I had Malik Neighbors go out early, so I just went full in for a rebuild and try to maybe go this year, or not really decided.
Dude, do me a favor. Who won the league last year? I just want to see what their team build is like.
Steeler won. The one that says finals.
Oh, finals. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford, Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, Mike Evans, A.J. Brown. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. I actually like the position you're in. You've got a lot of really good pieces. I think you probably kind of are going to be able to guess the direction I'm going to tell you to go here, and it might not be the most, popular, and it's going to hurt a little bit. But, like, in a format like this, 12-team start 12, I think I really need a hell of a lot more depth than any other league. And I mean, that's definitely somewhat of a generic statement, but it's just the facts. And this team is just a little too top heavy for me. I think like the immediate place my eyes go to is just in it. And it's unfortunate, right? But you have literally 2 of the, 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in Dynasty right here. And you could say that's a huge competitive advantage. I would, agree with you to some degree, but I would probably be picking one of those two and tearing off and seeing if I could get an absolute haul in return. And obviously that's going to come down to what your league economy is, right? And what your ability is to like actually get a fair cash out. But a good example for you, and it was a different format, so, maybe a little different, but last offseason, I had a team that went to 3 championships in 4 years with Josh Allen on it, Superflex League. And this was obviously before the Jackson Smith and Jigba explosion, but I had my feelings and really liked his prospect. So I traded away Josh Allen for the 102 in the 2025 draft class, JSN, and CJ Stroud. And I sent Josh Allen and Devonta Smith in that deal. And obviously ended up getting Amari and Hampton, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Stroud. And then I actually flipped Stroud in the offseason with some extra for Drake May, and that panned out nicely for me. But this isn't the Dynasty Price Check Glaze show. All it is to say I got 2 really premium assets there in JSN and Amari and Hampton, and still had a quarterback on the roster that I felt fine about, that I could make some moves with. I think if you were to be able to do something similar, obviously you won't be able to get JSN at this point, but if I could tier down to getting a really solid upside running back with Garrett Wilson thrown in there and maybe a 27 first included, I would definitely consider it. What's your tier down quarterback market like? Like, have you seen guys been able to execute those moves successfully, or are people not willing to pay top dollar for these guys?
Yeah, this league, people are pretty timid to trade because it's so hard, like so much depth.
Mm-hmm.
You need so much depth in this league, and this is the second year, and it was an auction league, so
Okay.
like kind of tricky. But there's been a couple of quarterback trades. I saw somebody trade for Baker without getting a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a market, and like the quarterbacks, they do score a lot of points in this league. For every passing, you get passing first downs and stuff. So.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, look, man, I mean, I'm just actually looking around because I'm curious. Who has Jackson Dart, and how do they value him?
Fantasy Fossil has Jackson Dart, and this is the super tight end team because they got Brock Bowers and Trey McBride, so that's the people they really like.
Gotcha.
Team. They're looking for running back help. They were trying to do some trades with me for running backs. So.
Well, I think I'm more in the boat of like, where does this guy value Jackson Dart in relation to Jaden Daniels? Like, could I actually make a quote unquote tear down from Jaden Daniels to Jackson Dart and get a solid piece coming back to me on top of it? Like, what if I gave Jaden Daniels in a second? Could I get Jackson Dart and Tet McMillan coming back, or would he just laugh in your face? Like, does he value Dart really high?
I'm not sure. He has put in McMillan in trades before, so he is open to adding McMillan to stuff.
To be frank, I would start there, and before you know what he wants and where he values Daniels, but maybe start with a third. Like Jaden Daniels in a third, and see if you can get Jackson Dart and Tet McMillan. And like, I know it sounds like a little bit of a swing here, but I just think you're still getting the rushing upside out of Jackson Dart. I know he hasn't been the world's greatest passer, but at the same time, I just think that fantasy-wise, that's not really that important. Kyler Murray's shown us that over the years. And so I think that could be a sneaky move for you. I think same type deal involving Justin Herbert if he'd do it. I think same type thing over here. I know a lot of guys are weirdly low on Jalen Hurts these days. And so if you could do, Jaden Daniels to Jalen Hurts and get back, a serious piece coming your way, I would consider it. But to be frank, looking at this guy's team, I don't know if he's really got the perfect fit for you, because he wouldn't be giving up Puka or Lamb here unless by some chance he's a Lamb hater after Pickens being there, but that just wouldn't be smart. All to be said, going back to your team though real quick, and I'll try to give you everything I kind of think, but I think exploring a quarterback tear down trade, it wouldn't hurt you, right? And I think that, that's definitely something you could consider. I think the second thing I would consider right away that just jumps out to me is in a deep format like this, it's really nice to have the 102, but I think I'd be way more convinced to take the 102 if it was a premium running back. Like if it was last year's class and it's like I'm getting Genty, I'm getting Hampton, and like even, at the time Travion Henderson's on the board, and like maybe I could get a really premium running back asset, I would consider it. But since it's probably going to be a wide receiver here, and like you got to pick between, the 3 wide receivers that are being highly touted out there anyway, I think this is one of those opportunities in such a deep format that like if you could drop this 102 to the 105 and get a decent starter in here, I'd probably do it. Like I'm just thinking in the realm of like, could I drop from the 102 to the 105 and get Terry McLaurin in a second kicked back to me? I'd probably like even consider doing something like that. And I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, dude, that's dropping too far. But not really, because you're still going to get one of the big 3 wide receivers in this draft. You're going to get a starting guy in a start 12 format that could potentially have top 12 upside for the next 2 seasons. And you could swing on that second round pick and still bring a Jacoby Lane or, someone that I like in that could even be a starter in their own right in a start 12 format. So I think that's one thing to consider. And same thing goes for running backs, right? You got extra flex spots. So, 102 to 105, can I get a running back that would like a Derrick Henry plus, Derrick Henry in a second? I would even consider doing something like that. And I know it's maybe not the sexiest, but like if you get the 105 Derrick Henry in a second for the 102 and a third or 102 and a fourth, I would look into doing deals like that. Outside of that, unfortunately, after the David Montgomery signing, you're probably not going to get a whole lot for him, but I'd be actively looking to move off Woody Marks, even though in this deep of a format, maybe he gives you some PPR upside. And like you said, with the first down bonuses, if he gets those dump-off passes, he could actually be a piece here. So let's not fire sale him, but I'd explore the market for it. I think the only other thing that you could consider here, man, and again, it's up to you, but in these deeper formats, like if you really want to contend and you have the top-tier quarterbacks here, like you might consider splitting Ashton Genty and seeing if you could split Ashton Genty and into Breece Hall and Kyron Williams, like I would consider it, and I don't know exactly, right? The league economy is tough with this deep of a format, but like a deal that would get done in my 12-team start 11 leagues, and I would have seen it happen in the past, is, Ashton Genty and a third for, Kyron Williams, Breece Hall in a second, and I would see those deals happen. So I think it's something to definitely consider, just because, the more guys you can actually have that are startable here is going to matter a ton for you. And outside of that, I mean, I kind of like holding Devin Neal here. He might have some future upside for you, but as you know, your bench, you don't have a lot to work with. We can't really be executing too many tier-up trades. Now, if there's any true rebuilders in this league that are after your picks and you don't want to take the risk, and you could take these 2/3 and go shopping out there, like guys that probably have a lot of relevance in this format that I like buying is like, could I take the 302 and go buy Chris Godwin today? That's a good flex spot for you that could give you 2 years. You just signed an extension. Could I take this third, this fourth, and, I don't even know who you have a value here. Tez Johnson, like this third, this fourth, Tez Johnson, and, maybe a future fourth, and see if you could get a Michael Pittman or maybe even swing on a Josh Downs if Alec Pierce ends up leaving in free agency. The Colts might have some options for you that might matter in this wide receiver room for such a deep format. But to be frank, man, that's kind of the direction I'm going with this team, is like you really only have 2 options, is either tier off one of the, either top 2 quarterbacks you have or Genty, because I kind of want to hold these 2 receivers in St. Brown and Neighbors here. And then outside of that, like your other options is just, flip your picks for cheap production, right? And go out there and buy the Godwins and the Stevensons and the Montgomerys of the world, right? And hope that gives you enough flex-worthy production to get you through the year.
Yes, sounds good.
Yeah.
For the 102 tier down, do you think 106 is too far with the tight end premium?
No, I mean, you got a solid tight end premium here. I would be total, like, that's a great shout, right? And something I wasn't even thinking as I'm trying to break this whole thing down in real time is like, Yeah, Sadiq definitely got a nice value bump from the combine, and I think he's a genuine piece. I really like him as a prospect, and I have zero problem flexing tight ends here. And to be frank, man, you actually bring up a really good point, and one of the thing that I missed and that I have given people suggestions on in the past is I was actually just talking about it on the trade show here. Been talking for hours, so I'm already a little brain dead. But it's that in these tight end premium leagues where there's a full point PPR like you have here, like, dude, like, let's just flex a million tight ends. Like, honestly, yeah, they're going to be better than receivers, and they're going to be cheaper on the open market just because a lot of people don't value them the same way. Like, a perfect example is like, Brenton Strange, I'm reading things and saying things. Mark Andrews has gotten a nice value dip here, even though he just got extended this season and he's given you top 10 finishes in the past. Like, I would be fine. Let's go buy Mark Andrews. Let's buy Dalton Schultz. Let's buy AJ Barner. Like, let's buy Theo Johnson. Just like stack those kind of like mid-range tight ends that are waiting to break a little bit here, or that give you anywhere between a tight end 8 and 14 finish on any given season. And just plug and play them in the flex spots here. Then you don't have to be spending big on running backs and wide receivers. And quite frankly, like, I love that strategy in a league like this. And I don't know how many tight ends you could buy for some of these thirds and fourths and whatever, but I'd just say take every third and fourth round pick you have between now and the end of 2028 and package them onto guys that mean nothing to me, like Cedric Tillman and Tez Johnson and, Devin Singletary and whatever else, and just see if you could get it done. Hell, like flip Jake Browning to the Joe Burrow owner right now for a late third if he'll do it, or another fourth, and then just go tight end shopping. That would be my suggestion for you, actually, when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming up. Sorry again if I couldn't completely overhaul you here, but I just think in such a deep format, your real moves have got to be tear downs, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, definitely you could start with the pick and move from there, and maybe explore the quarterbacks and RBs after that. But appreciate the support, Chaz. And if you want to go through another team next week, you know where to find me.
Okay, thank you.
We got Robert up next. What's up, Robert? Why don't you... Oh, people know the drill, man. I love it. Robert's ready to go. He's got the sleeper username in here. Guys, as a friendly reminder for those of you tuning in over on YouTube, if you haven't already been a part of one of these sessions before, this is your chance to join. Go ahead and hop in the Dynasty Price Check Discord. Totally free to join. You can just click the link in the description of this stream, and you will find us in the live events tab of the Discord. If you haven't already visited the Dynasty Price Check website for all these awesome tools to see your leagues broken down nice and clean with all the players and the picks, and you don't have to, toggle through your sleeper app on your phone, check out the Dynasty Decoder. We've got player rankings on the website. We got submission form up at the top for you to join our listener leagues. All the good stuff is available right here at dynastypricecheck.com, courtesy of MJ Walsh, our awesome moderator. Kev, I see you are a new follower. Appreciate you coming through, man. He says, you do free reviews. Yes, I do. Every Sunday for several hours in the Discord, we are breaking it down, so come on through. Looks like we got Robert up here on stage. How's it going, man?
What's up?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Just got done recording Trade Titans, coming out on Tuesday with Dynasty Endgame. It was a fun conversation. I think you guys are going to find this one interesting. We had a lot of different takes here. There was definitely some players we disagreed on, so I'll be curious to see in the comments of this trade show where people land. But which team, Robert, what's the deal with your team here, man? 103, are we a true rebuilder? You're putting it back together?
I think the picks were messed up. I have the 101 and
have
the
the
201.
Okay.
Yeah.
101 and 201. All right, man. We got Joe Burrow, Ashton Genty, Travion Henderson, Chris Olave, Tet, Wandale, Roma Dunze, Nico Collins, Loveland, Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, Trey Benson, Chuba Hubbard. Okay. Well, you just got the nice value boost for Luther Burden here after the DJ Moore trade this week, so that's good. Okay, Robert. You probably know most of this, but 8 teams start 11. So actually, normally 8-team leagues are just unbelievably top heavy. Luckily, you got to start 11 in there. So hopefully that's taken some of it out of it. Question for you though. You guys got a kicker in defense, huh? So this is really a start 9, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. That actually is a very shallow format. And I wanted to look through the teams to see how stacked some people are. And they definitely are pretty stacked. Okay. Well, Robert, you probably know this, but I think your real place to start. Sorry, also, is this a Superflex league or no?
No Superflex.
No Superflex. Okay, I mean, your real place to start is, and unfortunately, people probably don't need them because it's no Superflex and it's only 8 team, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you don't even need them. Just kidding. I was going to say try to sell Caleb Williams for anything, but you're just not going to get anything. Everybody's got studs. I think your main bet here, Robert, is like one. I'm not the biggest Travion Henderson guy for his current value. I think like, I'm not panic selling him, but I definitely would be willing to take what I can get there. Like, do you know, is there any market for him? You got any Patriots fans that would be willing to take him off your hands?
Yeah, there's Nakua Matata. He's a
Okay.
big Pats fan.
All right.
I've been trying to get Malik from him for a while now.
Trying to get Malik.
He's
interesting. Well, dude, I mean, I know it's not going to sound like the sexiest of moves, but like, could we execute a tear down potentially either from Travion Henderson to Breece Hall, and it's probably not going to be a huge tear down, but like, would you be able to get, and maybe it's too rich, but could you do Travion and a second and go get Breece Hall in a 27 first? I think that's the first place you start, like unequivocally. If he won't do that deal and he's like, nah, that's too rich, then maybe if you dropped further and you went Travion Henderson for Travis Etienne in this 27 first, and I know that that's like, you're like, oh, I'm taking a big swing, but quite frankly, man, like Etienne, he gave you a top 10 finish this last year. He gave you 2 top 10 finishes, including a top 5 finish on his rookie deal. So 2 out of the 4 years. He's going to get paid by someone this offseason, and these a fine RB2 to have. Plus, you get an extra first next year to really like kind of help with this rebuild in a super loaded draft class. So I think that'd be like one thing I would explore pretty quickly out of the gate with Travion, just to see if this Pats fan would take a swing on him and print you some extra liquidity. On top of that, like, you probably already know this, but like, just only the real studs are probably going to matter the most here. Luckily, you got Adunze here and Burden, so you have the luxury of holding them both. I personally think people have been willing to pay an arm and a leg for Luther Burden recently, and they probably will even beyond this now that DJ Moore is gone. Like, if Luther Burden in a package with, Trey Benson and the 203, or Trey Benson and these 2 third-round picks, plus Luther Burden could get me up to, like someone of genuine massive substance, like James Cook or, Jonathan Taylor, or even like, if I could get somebody who's pretty slept on right now, like this guy's team, I think Chase Brown and Kyron Williams are both undervalued on the dynasty market right now. So like, does Luther Burden, Trey Benson in a second just like get me Chase Brown in a 27 first? I'd probably do it, to be frank. Like, I think you'd be timing the market well. I do that for Kyron as well. I know people are like weirdly down on Kyron. He just signed an extension last year, and he's got 3 top 10 finishes in a row, and the Rams look like they're not slowing down. They just made a go all in trade with Trent McDuffie, and they were 1 game away from a Super Bowl this year. So I think like those would be the main areas I would look to attack right out the gate. Outside of that, like, unfortunately, like, I'm not a Travis Hunter guy at all, so I don't know if there's any market for him, but I'd probably be taking what I could get for Travis Hunter. And I know it sounds funny, but like, dude, like even in this format, it's an 8-team league. So what, like these second round picks are really firsts, like in a 12-team league, like this is still the 111. So like, if I could get, 2 or even 3 seconds for Travis Hunter, I'd do it. Right. Cause like if some of them even land in the top 4, you're kind of just getting firsts. Give you.
I think it's actually the 2. I think that's actually the 201. So it'd be the 209. It would be the 109.
109. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. So I think like those would be the ways I would look first. I think also just like in general, like guys like Parker Washington, Jordan Addison, like these are all guys on the block for me here. Like I think you should be shopping them. Now, there's no tight end premium, right?
No, there's none.
I mean, it doesn't even matter, though. Like, Tucker Kraft's going to score more than half these receivers, to be frank, even in a non-tight end premium. So I think, like, if you can, just flex both these guys each week, that's great. I don't really have an issue with that. To be frank, man, I mean, you probably already know this, but the best direction I can give you at this point is we can't do anything with the quarterbacks. I've already given you the Henderson stuff. You probably want to keep these wide receivers together of Olave, Tet, and Robinson. That's my opinion. And, you know, you got Nico and Adunze here. I got no problem rolling with this group. I'm personally taking my profits on Luther Burden, like I said. Like, give me another running back I can flex. Like, you know, like, and I said a premium one. Like, let's see what we can tier up with. Like, Luther Burden, Trey Benson, and these 2/3. What does that get me, right? Like, let's go shopping. Travis Hunter, like I said, give me extra liquidity there. Romeo Doubs might get a free agent boost. But these guys like Parker Washington, Jordan Addison, like, who's the rebuilders in this league? Is there any? Like, can I get any of these young guys to take a swing and tier up and give me production? Like, this guy's team is pretty old. Like, could you offer him Jordan Addison and Parker Washington for Devonta Smith and a 28 first? You know, like I doubt it, but like you probably have to include your second, right? So maybe you do those two in a second for Devonta Smith and a 28 first. I'm just thinking like consolidation wise, those are the type of moves I'd like to make. Give me guys that I just rely on more and could be wide receiver ones. You know, AJ Brown might vacate this offseason, and then suddenly you got a wide receiver 1 at 28 for the next 3 years, and that just adds another flex spot for you, right? So I think that's mostly the department I would be looking in. Do you have any current trades that are on the table that you wanted to run past me?
Yes. So I have two. So I'll just tell you the one I like first. Yeah. I got offered Zay, the 104 and a 2027 first for Nico, Kraft, a third, and Travis Hunter.
Okay, Nico, Kraft, Travis Hunter, and a third. Say it again. Zay Flowers and who else?
Zay Flowers, the 104 and the 2027 first.
Where's that first going to be placed, do you think?
I think it's going to be placed. Let me just check the team again.
Yeah, whose is it? I can actually look here too.
It's going to be I got offered either the Luke Toros first or it's the hope that kills you first.
Okay.
It's probably like mid to early.
Yeah, his wide receiver core isn't that great. Man, I mean, I'm pretty tempted by that offer, to be honest. Did he send it to you or did you send it to him?
He offered it to me.
Okay, that means he wants it. That's good. I always wonder that because that gives you room to counter, right? And I think, like, all being considered, the math breakdown on that is like Nico Collins for a 27 first. I don't entirely hate it. I just think if he'll add a second on top of that, I think I'm doing that if I'm you, to be frank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm doing that if I'm you. If he'll add a second, say, give me 1 second in there and we'll get the deal done. And honestly, that's the thing too, is just like, if he's gonna be all stingy with it, be like, you're gonna bust your roster trade up off a 2nd round pick that statistically has like under a 26% hit rate. So you can throw him something like that and see if you can get it done. Do you have a separate trade or is it just both those with the 2 different pick options?
There was a different one where I like it a little bit less. It was Luther and 2 firsts for CD.
No, we're not gonna do that one in this
league.
Okay, yeah. No, I like the first one. I think you take the first one, to be honest. I would be fine doing that. That gives you some flexibility. Let's see if we can still execute the Travion one we were talking about afterwards. And like I said, just for your knowledge and whatever and how it helps you here, like, you're still in a rebuild. I don't know if you're going to be able to immediately turn it around for exactly this year, but if you make all the right moves, you could. But that has to go with Benson's gone. Hubbard's probably gone. I'd capitalize on Jaden Higgins in a format like this if someone's willing to give you a premium on him or use him in a package. Same thing with Parker and Addison. Like I already told you, these guys are kind of fringe for me. Obviously, you're rolling with Loveland here, so Kraft's already at the door when you make that other trade. Now we got to go wide receiver shopping a little bit here. But again, if I can take these 2 guys together and even here, man, like if you're going to get another second kicked back to you on top of it, like, I don't hate taking, if you got a late second or a projected late second out of some of these 27 ones you got, you know, like, can I go buy a Derrick Henry? Can I go buy a Terry McLaurin? Can I go buy Michael Pittman? You know, and like suddenly now I'm kind of filling out this start 11 room with like a bunch of guys that are going to give me production because you're young, you know, like I'm not really too worried about this team in general. You're going to have extra firsts now, you know, 327 firsts after you make the Nico deal. You've still got all young wide receivers here. Like all these guys are young. All your running backs are young. Your tight end's young as hell. Like it's time to start adding some veteran production on here. Like let's bring the Terry McLaurins, the Devontae Adams, the Cortland Suttons. Like those guys can be bought for late seconds, right? Probably in this format because the late second's really like a early to mid second in other leagues. So I think that's the way I'd be looking here, Rob.
All right. Thank you.
For sure, man. All right, guys, if you're watching over on YouTube, friendly reminder, this is your chance to hop on into the Discord totally free and get your roster broken down. We'll be here every Sunday for you this offseason. The next guy we got up on this list was Fridays. And Fridays, where are you at, man? I'll invite you up to speak and let me know what the sleeper username is here, and we will break it down. Let's see. Did he already post it in here? No, he did not. Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Gizm. Lovely. How we doing, man?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Pretty solid. You got a name, bro, or should I be calling you Fridays? Or should I call you Ratchet Nainggolan over there with that? I'm a big footy guy. I actually I played soccer my whole life all the way through college, so there you go.
There you go. Sweet. Yeah, same here. I got a signed autographed jersey right here next to me, but I put my name in the chat already. It's just right. GISOM.
No, you're good. I got it pulled up. All right, so we got a 12-team start 12, no tight end premium. But the start 12, I see a kicker and a defense, so really a start 10, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, start 10. Okay, no tight end premium, all good. No firsts in the next couple years, so I'm assuming we're a contending team here. How'd we do last year?
Yep. So it's really between like two teams, like my team and then cold calculated master. I mean, if you look at my wide receiver core, it's a 12-team league, and I have three of the notably top 4 wide receivers and Igbuka right behind them. So I traded a lot of those first last year for Chase, just given the fact that I'd already won the league once and just didn't feel like those firsts were going to give me the value I wanted. But yeah, it's really just two contenders, and we spread the league out.
Who's the other guy, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
Cold calculated Masters. He was the one who won it last year.
Gotcha.
But outside of that, there's a couple, like most people are either in that like weird middle phase or rebuilding completely, and then we have 2 extension teams, which is a whole nother fun asset to this because their teams are about as bad as a 20-team league could get. But yeah, it's really just us two, I'd say. There's some other people that can get in the mix on their day, but it's just hopping over that running back core that he has.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, I'm looking at his team too, and I don't know if you see it here on the stream, but it's just like, yeah, that's the reason you lost. You know, he's got these hitters. He's got, you know, Robinson and McCaffrey and Josh Jacobs and Etienne, and he's getting solid production. And Algier's gonna get a deal this year, so he'll be fine to go. I think, like, as you know, that's the direction you need to start attacking. And so, unfortunately, I know you've already leveraged a bit of your future here, but like at this point, I'm really just not that concerned with these picks that you have. I'm sure you're already aware of that, but like the remaining ones you got until 2028, like they just don't mean much to me. You know, a second, and a third. Like this is the time that I think the Derrick Henrys and the DeAndre Swifts are like absolute need buys for you. You know, unfortunately, without tearing off one of your top receivers here, right? You're probably not getting, you know, a Breece Hall, a Javonte Williams, you know, any of those guys in that kind of mid-range that are near the Ken Walker, you know, status. And you're obviously not able to buy anybody even higher than that. I think here's your option, right? And this is a super flex league, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, 2 things. One, you've probably heard me say it before, and I will say it again. It's not a popular opinion, but it's one that I just employ. I'm not a 3 quarterback holder, especially when I'm contending. Like, if all goes to hell and I lose one of my quarterbacks, I do just, like, get creative and I'll tear off a player, you know, and it sucks. But, like, I'll just do it. You know, I'll tear off Jalen Hurts and I'll go down to, Brock Purdy, and I'll get Matt Stafford included in the deal. Or I'll get, probably better than that, but I'll go Jalen Hurts in a third, and I'll get Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott, right? And I'll just be like, all right, screw it. This is what we're doing, and push comes to shove. That being said, like, you're selling him a little bit at a low here, but I would probably either sell CJ Stroud if someone's willing to pay for him, especially on a rebuilder, and get yourself some solid running back production there, or, explore kind of what I was talking about. Like, can I take Jalen Hurts and do a tear down trade and then sell one of the third quarterback for another one and print an extra liquidity? So just food for thought here. Like, if I poke around, like, I guess, like, I don't know where Jalen Hurts' value lives these days, because some people are really high on him, some aren't. But, like, could I take Jalen Hurts in a third and who's somebody I don't care about on the bench? Like, maybe Tyrone Tracy or Kenny Gainwell after he signs a deal with someone here. Like, can I go do that and get Bo Nix and Breece Hall coming back to me? Like, I would definitely explore that, because I don't think the scoring difference between the two quarterbacks is a whole lot different, and you're getting another premium running back on top of it. I would maybe look over to here, and, like, it's definitely a big swing, but I am a Jackson Dart believer. Like, could I go, I don't know if he's super high on Jackson Dart, but could I go Jalen Hurts and like I said, one of the throw-in pieces there, and get Jackson Dart and James Cook, or Jackson Dart and Bucky Irving, and swing in that department? I'd probably be fine exploring a deal like that. I see the Brock Purdy owner here, like, and we were talking about Javonte earlier. Like, if I could go tear off Jalen Hurts and go to Brock Purdy and get Javonte Williams and Michael Pittman coming back to me, like, I'd probably do that, because then, quite frankly, with the receiver core you've built out, I know you probably want to hold on to Ibuka here because you're like, I have the sexiest young wide receiving core ever. But at that point, I'd just throw a vet in here, the Pittmans, the McLaurins, the whatever, go cheap at the fourth receiver, and I'd shop Ibuka for a running back in that mid-range, like similar to the Breece Hall kind of tier that we were talking about before. Maybe Cam Scatterbo plus, something like that, and explore that route. But I think that's mostly the two directions I would take on this team is shop some of the quarterbacks, and maybe you want to hold on to Hurts and you shop Mayfield or Stroud and see what it could get you. That's kind of option one. Option two is, like, just buying production, right? Like, I don't really want to wait to see if Etienne's going to sign or re-sign or whatever. I'm not the biggest Baishal Tutin believer. I still think the fumbling problem exists. He had a lot of minor touches last year, but he really struggled in college. Like, could that rear its ugly head if they try to make him the workhorse, or if they let Etienne walk? It's not like they're going to roll alone with Tutin. Like, does that mean Dowdle ends up there? Algier ends up there? Do they spend big on Kenny? Like, there's plenty of running backs out there that Rashad White, like, there's a ton of guys that could eat into Tutin here. And I just don't think he has the draft capital or the, like, really prowess in my mind, prospect wise, to be like a workhorse. So, like, could I take Tutin in a third and, like I said, go get Derrick Henry or DeAndre Swift or someone kind of in that range? I'd probably explore that. And yeah, I don't know what your bench depth's going to get you a lot of. Like, if there's any market for Matthew Golden, I'd explore it for a running back. And then additionally, like, you do have two stud tight ends already. So Jake Ferguson's kind of a luxury for you. I don't know if there's anyone that's, like, really tight end needy. Like, I mean, yeah, this guy's got Darren Waller and Theo Johnson. Like, he'd probably be thrilled off Jake Ferguson. Like, doesn't really have any running backs to offer you, so I don't really think that's your fit. But Trey McBride, it's got T.J. Hawkinson and Evan Ingram. Yeah, he's got nothing. But he doesn't have running backs either. Man, the running backs are really hoarded in this league.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, and I mean, like, I kind of the same direction that you're talking about. Like, I have two trades to bring up that kind of already fit the same idea of where you're at.
Yeah.
So the first one is Igbukah, and it's proposed by me, and he's kind of on, like, the fence. So we'll see what happens. But it's either Baker or Stroud and Igbukah for T-Law and Chase Brown.
Baker, Stroud, Igbukah for T-Law and Chase Brown. He sent it too, I'm assuming.
I sent this one too, but he's on the fence about it. Like, he's going back and he's thinking about it without anything additional on top or asking for anything additional.
Yeah, I'd be fine doing that if I'm you. to be frank. I know you sent it, so I don't have an issue with it. Yeah, I'd be fine doing that on a team like this. That's assuming that you think you can buy another receiver with this 27-second, like I said, like a Pittman or a Terry or a Sutton or something. I do want, or even Devontae Adams. I want some guy that's not Matthew Golden starting for me here or giving me my wide receiver 3 on a bye week. But yeah, I would do that if I were you. What's the other one?
Exactly. Yeah, and like that's why you have Kittle and Warren both in there at tight end, because I'm getting better production out of Warren than anyone else on that list. Just throwing him at the flex. But the other one, kind of more in the talks, but it's the C Russo team, and it's one of these rebuild teams that has Daniel Jones. And the way I'm looking at Stroud is he's just tanking off my value, and he's just never going to get game time worth it. So he's got Daniel Jones, and he also has Scatabo. So
that's your move.
That was kind of the range. I don't have an offer out there right now, but it's kind of the range if I can downgrade Stroud to Daniel Jones and then throw something in to get Scat. Just because, I mean, if you're looking at that team won't do anything for 10 years. So
no, not
it's
at all.
It's one of those where if I can just throw some shit at the wall and it hits, then it's
oh man,
all great there.
Smash
so.
accept. I would say, yeah, obviously if you can convince him even just straight up of doing like, Stroud in a third for Daniel Jones and Scat, that's a runaway to the bank. But if you got to just keep adding pieces on your end, even to like the degree we talked about, like, you got those thirds and fourths, just throw it at him. Just be like, you're a rebuilder. You need to take as many swings as you can. Hopefully one of them ends up being a Puka in the third and somehow you have a direction forward. That's your sell. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I'm way more interested in that one than the other one. So, yeah. I'm also a big Scat guy, but
kind of where
I'm more interested. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude. I think for sure that's the direction you go for now. And obviously you got kind of the rest of my feedback on the squad. So I think that's where we go. You know where to find me in the Dynasty Trade Center. Feel free to tag me. Let me know what you get if you get some counters and stuff and you want to bounce it off anybody. But I think you're good to go here, man. Like this is a team that, as you already know, with that receiver core, you're all right.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate it as always. Thanks.
Of course, man. Appreciate you coming through. All right, guys, we got 24 hours is next. 24 hours. Brett 420. All right, my man. Go ahead and request to come up if you want to talk. If you don't, no worries. I can always just rip off the dome, but let me know. We've got, there he is. All right, invite to speak. All right, here we go. Got plenty of leagues here too, so let me know what we're diving into. It's Dynasty 101. All right, Dynasty 101, let's go. Whew. Man, we got a true G-Gen in here. I like it, open 24 hours. That's a lot of leagues to scroll through, my guy. All right, whew. You are muted, by the way, if you are trying to talk. If you're not trying to talk, no worries, but just heads up.
Oh, hey, what's up? Sorry,
what's up,
first
man?
time on here.
No worries. All right, well, let's start with this time. What's do you got any current trades on the table that you wanted to run by me, or are we just going?
Both, but I have a more pressing issue. So we have
Please.
roster cut downs, and I got a bunch of these like half-ass guys on my team that I got to cut. So if you had to just drop 10 guys off this roster right now, who would they be?
Okay. Well,
it's hard to trade like the bottom of it. It's a 10-league team, so it's harder to trade the bottom of the tier guys like, Pacheco and Jordan Mason and stuff like that. But they're kind of like roster cloggers.
I feel you. Well, look, here's the first things first, right? Yes. Could I help with this? And I'm willing to, absolutely. I think like way more easily though, man, like you've stacked so many of these thirds and fourths, and maybe that's your style. You just love taking draft swings, or maybe there's just no market for them, which you can also tell me. You know your league economy better than me, but it's like, if it's me at this point, like I'm just even on a glance at the team, like this isn't a bad squad, like it's not incredible, but it's not bad. You got Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. You're solid there. Like Saquon and Kenny Walker, like RJ Harvey isn't my favorite, but yeah, you've got some running backs, you got some wide receivers. All to say, like, if it's me, I'm going to like any rebuilder in this league and just packaging, like 5 of these picks together on top of like Parker Washington and just being like, what does it get me? You know, like what can I get anybody of substance? Can I get up to Zay Flowers, you know, and just can I get up to Devonta Smith? You know, I think like that's the way I'd really look at it, because then it's like, then you don't have to make as much roster space for all these draft picks, because like you said, it's a 10-team league. Like who are you adding in the late third, fourth round that's going to do anything for you? Like that's a shot in the barrel, right? So that's first things first. Like tell me your league economy. You got any guys that will just take these picks, or is like very rebuilding?
It's really tough because I have all those picks, right? So like I have everybody's third and fourth round for the next 2 years if you look at my roster. So it's hard to trade them back to the same teams, especially like at any value. So I might be able to like put like Jordan Mason in the fourth to get like a third, maybe, if you know, like it's tough. And I can't take all those picks on either because I already have too many guys on the end of my bench. So if I take the picks, I'm gonna have to cut more guys.
I get that. I mean, honestly, dude, like you said, and I kind of liked that idea, but it's like, that's kind of where I would be. Like, can we take Jordan Mason in like 3 of these thirds and try to get like the 202 to 204, you know, right. Like just give me a second, right? Because then at least it's like, I know I mentioned his name earlier, but like, I really like guys like Jacoby Lane and stuff, right? Like they'll probably be available in a 10-team league in the early second. So it's like, yeah, just give me a consolidated swing. Like, give me Elijah Surratt, you know, give me somebody that might actually be a dynasty asset. That's kind of where I'm mostly at. So just like, you know, rinse and repeat with what I said there, right? Like start Jordan Mason, 2 thirds. Does it get me a mid second? You know, like, can I print a 27 second by going Isaiah Pacheco in 2 thirds? Can I go, you know, in, you know, rinse and repeat, right? Aaron Jones in 3/4. Can I get me a 27 late second or a 28 second? You know, like I would say like, let's just start there, you know, just to kind of clear some space. That would be my main suggestions. Now, if you are, you know, forced to cut guys here, like you can, but I think like even beyond that, like I would just try to get craftier with it. Like, again, like I see Blake Corum here, right? So who's the Kyron Williams owner? Like, why are we holding a handcuff? I don't need him. Let's shop him to the Kyron Williams owner unless he wants nothing to do with him. Like, let's go to the Kyron Williams owner and offer him Blake Corum and a couple of thirds. And can I get an actual real player? Like a wide receiver that would flex for me or something? Like, that's where I'm kind of at. So who's this guy? I want to just generate some real trades for you guys. Like, who owns Kyron Williams in your league? Is it?
I think it's James team.
Okay, yeah, right here, Jesse. It's the champs, Jesse. Like, yeah, I mean, he's already got good running backs here, but I mean, he's got hella running backs, so maybe that's why he's not interested in him, because he's just got Javonte even sitting on the bench and Jalen Warren on the bench. Damn, that's a bummer. All right, probably not going to happen for you there, unfortunately. But like, rinse and repeat. Like,
but I do have an offer on the table.
Yeah,
I give Nico Collins and I get Breece Hall in the 202.
Yeah, that's
that leaves my wide receivers really, really thin.
Okay, here's where I'm at with this team, which is interesting.
I also have another trade that I don't really like, but I give Trey McBride and I get T. Higgins in the 110. But I heard he's going to.
Yeah, that's good. That one's going to be a no. I'm sure you're good at that. This tight end premium's way too heavy. I think. Okay, well, here's the interesting thing. All right. The Nico Collins one. You got that 206. Did he send it to you or did you send it to him?
He sent it to me. So I probably have a little wiggle room there, but he's my number one receiver.
Nico Collins. Washington. Yeah, but like that's the thing. Okay, a couple things here. One, I'm sure you know this, but just fantasy data wise, the death of the wide receiver is happening in front of us, especially the death outside of like the top 6 wide receivers. You know, like if you got to chase a JSN, a Puka, fine. Like you're not selling those guys. Outside of that, the point spread difference between Nico Collins last year, who gave you, 227 fantasy points, and Wan'Dale Robinson, who was wide receiver 15, who gave you 214 points, is like, half a game, right? That's like a 10-point swing. We're really like barely tripping off that. Now, all to say, value-wise, Nico Collins is going to be a second round, third round starter pick. Wan'Dale Robinson, you're going to get in the 9th, 10th round. Now, understanding production versus name value and potential upside matters a lot. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that Nico Collins and Wan'Dale Robinson are going to put up the same amount of points for the next 3 years and are worth the same amount in Dynasty. However, I do look at it in the sense of, well, if I can buy a running back like Breece Hall and get, a potential asset on top of it, like we might be talking about here for Nico Collins, then I would probably do it as a process move, because quite frankly, then if I just need to phone in wide receiver this next year while I contend and, use some of this liquidity to go buy Terry McLaurin and Michael Pittman and, roll with Mike Evans and like whatever. And then maybe I tier off one of these top tier quarterbacks that you have, which I'm absolutely in the market to do. And quite frankly, I would be tearing off Jalen Hurts. Like, number one thing I would do on this team is tear off Jalen Hurts. Like, if I could tear off Jalen Hurts and go down to Jared Goff and get, a solid wide receiver like a George Pickens or a Garrett Wilson thrown in there, if I've got to add, 4 fourth round picks on my side with, how many picks you have, I'm doing that unequivocally, quite frankly. But like, I veered off the point. I would go Nico Collins in the 206. If you could get Brees in his 27 first, I would do it unequivocally if he would even entertain it. I think that's a smash accept. And again, like, to the degree of like consolidating assets, dude, like if he's not thrilled by that, like right out of the gate, then fine, man. Add a fourth, add another fourth, add another fourth, add another fourth. Like, literally just get that deal done by just adding garbage on the other side,
I don't know if this would change your point of view, but the team that's offering it to be a splinter, and that you see the 3 trophies next to his name. He won 3 out of the past 4 years, and he beats me in the playoffs every year. So that's who I've been making the trade with.
I get it, but
so also his 27 first will be late. It'll be the 109 or 110.
Look, I get it, but like the way I look at your team, and like, look, like I'll be completely frank, right? Like the way I look at your team, you've got some serious hitters in this league, right? Like you've got guys that are winning and got studs. Like, you're not a contender. Like, you just aren't. You don't have the wide receiver room and you don't have the running back depth to do it. Like, this is a team that isn't on the brink of teardown. Like, I just keep it real with everybody. Like, it's not on the brink of teardown necessarily, but like, bro, another year of Saquon Barkley, another year of Nico Collins, Mike Evans is going to be gone next year. Courtland Sutton's probably going to be gone next year. Like, you don't have, like multiple, 27 first. You got nothing till 2028. Like, this team is in dire mode right now, in my mind. And like, I'm not saying that lightly. And like, to the degree that, it's a tight end premium one, like in my mind, man, like this is the clearest case ever of like, just like, look yourself in the mirror, eat this year, say like, I'm going to eat 2026. Like, I'm going to play for 2027, because I'm looking at the other teams in your league and I'm going to keep it real. Like, you've got studs in this league, right? And so like, I hate to say throw in the towel, because I watch 7-7 teams win every year, right? It does happen. I play a lot of Dynasty, and the amount of guys that sneak into the playoffs and beat you on one blow up week, it sucks. It happens. But I also am I want to go into the season being realistic and thinking I have a chance to win. And like, even look at this guy, like, Lamar Lizard or whatever, like, his team's just far better. Like, his wide receiver core is deep. He's got tons of guys that could explode if BTJ comes back and does, better. Ladd does better. He's got Hampton and CNC. Like, you're just not in the right mode to contend here in a start 11 league. Like, I was looking at the other guy who just won, like, again, like, look at these running backs, he's playing 4 deep with, Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs and Etienne and Henderson and JSN. Like realistically, like, so here's what I really want to do after I like talk myself through all that. So sorry for wasting a little bit of the early time, but I think you tear off like one of these quarterbacks here. I personally don't think you need to panic about Josh Allen if you're going to play for 2027 or 2028. Like, he's still going to be a stud till he's like 34. So like, I'm not worried about Josh Allen. It's not like he's old. I'd probably hold him if you could. I would be tearing off Jalen Hurts immediately. And quite frankly, like, I wouldn't even worry about quarterback this year, because you don't even need to start a good roster. Like, let's who has your 27 first? I want it back. Like, let's go get the like top 3 guys. Like, who?
The team you're just looking at, JJ has it.
Damn, and he just doesn't need quarterbacks. So that's very unfortunate. But I mean, like, here's the deal, right? Like, you're gonna punt this here pretty hard. Like, Nico Collins is gonna be next year. Isn't going to be worth what a top 3 pick in the 27 class is. Like, let's go for a top 3 pick. Like, can you just get Nico Collins for this 27 first back? Like, I'd just do that. Honestly, if he'll give you more, great. Like, can I get creative with it? And since he's a contender, like, let's send him some pieces. Like, this is interesting. He's a major contender. I mean, you really want to screw up this league economy. I don't even care. Like, can we go Nico Collins and Saquon Barkley together in a package, and you can throw a bunch of thirds and fourths and whatever at him, and go get me. Where was he? Right, this guy. Like, go get me your first. Give me Ladd McConkey and Tyler Algier. Honestly, like, I know it's not amazing, but it's like give me your first, Tyler Algier, his 28 second, or just take David Montgomery. Take anybody that'll give you some ability to flip in the future. Get a couple pieces. Get Josh Downs, Tyler Algier, a first, a second, like your first, a second, and Ladd. Like, that would do it for me, because we got to start the rebuild, and you need pieces that are going to ascend in value. And the day Tyler Algier signs a contract, you're going to flip him, and the day that Alec Pierce signs a contract, you're going to flip Josh Downs, because now he's wide receiver 2 in Indianapolis, right? And so this is the type of moves we got to make, and just like start not fire sailing entirely, but like, you can buy these guys back next year if you want to. I think you got to sell Trey McBride also, and you can get a king's ransom for him. So, like, who owns Tyler Warren? Like, can I go get Tyler Warren plus for Trey McBride? Like, can I go get Tyler Warren in a first and something on top? You should be in a full point PPR, honestly. Like, that's the level of value that Trey McBride's going to own. And so here we are here. Yeah, this guy's already rebuilding. Well, there you go. This is your fit. He's got a bunch of firsts this year. He might think that he's like ready to like lean into try to contending. I don't know if he would do it, right? But in my mind, with the teams I'm looking at in this league, this guy's got another top 3 pick coming next year. Like, can I go Trey McBride and just throw, like I said, thirds on the side of it? It just make it look better. Throw thirds and throw him some of that bench depth you got that means absolutely nothing. And give me Tyler Warren and his 27 first. And now next year, you're looking at like what I got, 2 top 3 to 5 27 first round picks. I got Tyler Warren. I got, Ladd McConkey. Like, now we're starting to rebuild the shell of this team. Okay. Then I do the same thing. Let's tear off Jalen Hurts, go only for liquidity, right? Like, can I go to this guy? This guy's got terrible quarterbacks. Go give him Jalen Hurts and see if you can get back Tedero McMillan and his 27 first. Again, like, I know that this sounds funny, but like, go Jalen Hurts and throw a bunch of those fourths and thirds on, right? You've got so many of them. Give him Jordan Mason. Give him like a bunch of your bench depth, Blake Corum, like any guys that kind of hold value in Dynasty but don't mean anything to you at your current status. Now, if I'm looking at the team next year, right, and I've got Tet and I've got Ladd and I've got 3 27 firsts or 4 27 firsts and whatever, then I'm in a place where I can actually like start to do something with this. And we had Tyler Warren in there. Like, you've got the bones now to rebuild this team. And the second Ken Walker signs a big deal, we're doing the same thing. Like, flip Ken Walker, give me something that's not going to depreciate in value over the next year. Like, get Cam Scadaboo in a first for Kenny in a second, right? Like, let's just start getting crafty, print some liquidity. RJ Harvey's got to be off your roster like yesterday. Like, I'll take any first I can get for RJ Harvey. Like, give me the 110 for RJ Harvey. I'll just re-roll, especially on a team like yours. Yeah, sorry. I could go all day on this one, to be frank, but you probably get the bare bones of what I'm coming at, and we're going to tear the whole thing down.
One question is, would you do any of this without getting my 27 first back first? Because if I can't get the 27 first back, I know, like you said, like I'm kind of on the edge of contending or maybe even making the playoffs with this team. But if I can't get my 27 first back, should I even do it this year, or should I just wait till next year?
No, even if you don't get your own 27 first back, I mean, like, I don't know if I'm like intentionally trying to tank it out, but I'm still doing everything I can to just like flip and get 27 firsts, even if I don't have my own. Just like go to the teams that you think are going to have top 5 picks next year, and let's just see what we can get deals done of, right? Like, it sucks if you don't have your own pick, but it's the reality of the situation, and you just hope there's some people out there bad enough that, your pick is not the 101, but I would really try to get that pick back first, because like right now it doesn't look like you're tanking, right? The second you start selling pieces off, that guy's going to start grasping to that pick for dear life, because he's going to realize what you're doing and say, well, now I'm not giving away, Jeremiah Smith, right? So, yeah.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for coming through. All right, guys, we've got some more to go through here. Friendly reminder, if you are watching over on YouTube and you are looking to get your Dynasty roster broken down, this is the best way to do it. We go every single Sunday. I'm going to try to get to as many people as I can today. I do have Chris in the chat of YouTube saying, I'm worried about the Cam Scatterbo and the new rumors coming out about them wanting to add a big running back. Can you talk me off the ledge? Yeah, quite frankly, man, I mean, I'm going to talk myself off the ledge here. I'm a huge Cam Scatterbo guy. I'm not really believing that stuff. I think it's a bit of smoke and mirrors. I've given my reasons on this a bit, but I'll give you some quick ones. One, the Giants have other positions to deal with. I don't know why you're spending cap money on a free agent running back. So, if Jeremiah Love falls to them at their pick, that's a little bit of a different situation. But even there, I'd probably be looking at the offensive line and trying to protect Jackson Dart. Because, if you think you have a franchise quarterback, probably got to invest something in him. The only other second one, which I know isn't, as sound of a fantasy argument, but it's just that, quite frankly, football's a business. We all know that. And those two guys are electric on the field together. There's a lot of people, that were buying those jerseys and those shirts and the Step Brothers thing out there with those two. And they're a fun young crowd to get behind. And I know that doesn't always sit well with the football truthers out there that are like, coaches are going to do the thing that's best. They're not going to think about the business. You always got an owner whispering in your ear a little bit. I think those two guys are going to be kind of the future of that franchise. So I'm still buying Cam Scatterbo on the value dip here, but that is just me. If next week they sign Kenneth Walker, I could be out here looking like an idiot and you guys can come clown me. So, all right, Matheson, I believe you're next, my man. Appreciate you waiting around. If you want to invite yourself to or request to speak, I'll be happy to approve you. And guys, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and hop in the Discord, try to join the queue. I might be able to get to you today. If I don't get to everybody today, as I said again, we're here every Sunday. And so as long as you're a subscriber and you're in the Discord, you'll have access to me. So would love to see you. Matheson, if you're there and you want to request, there we go. Right on, man. All right, hit me with the sleeper username as soon as you're up here and speaking, and we'll dive right on in. Guys, I'm going to try to speed these up a little bit. I'll still try to give you as good of feedback as I can, but we got a big list today. So I want to try to see what I can do for folks. So what's good, Michael? What's the username, bud?
There we go. Can you hear me?
Hell yeah, man.
All right. How's it going?
Pretty good, bro. Appreciate you coming through.
Could be M Matheson 28, same as my name on here.
Oh, great. Making my life easy. That's 38, 28. All right. What league are we doing?
I think Weekend Warriors.
Weekend Warriors. I love it. All right, my man.
Yeah, so this is my original Dynasty league that I pretty much went all in on the startup draft, and it didn't quite work out for me, but.
Gotcha. Are these picks accurate? 106?
Yeah.
Okay. 12 teams, start 10, full point PPR, no tight end premium, it looks like. Is it a start 2 tight end or no?
Just one.
Just one? Yeah, okay, no worries. Sometimes the UI shows me
and
okay.
I traded Kittle this year for that 28 first.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Smart move. Tell me only other thing. We got any existing trades you want me to go through before I start rattling off what I do here?
Yeah, pretty much the only trades that I had were for Jamar Chase.
I figured that much. Okay.
Yeah. I had one, I think it was the 26 107 and then 2 27 firsts, and I think I got Gainwell and Trey Harris all for Chase.
We're not going to do that one, but
yeah.
Here's where we're at. We got 2 of these in a row, to be completely honest. If you were listening to the last one, I'm sad to say I'm leaning the same direction. I'm fighting for 2027, 2028, and I'm going to look at this team and say that it's not a bad team. In fact, if you were to get crafty out there, right, and when Malik Willis signs somewhere, you could try to flip him, right, and get some solid liquidity there. And then if you want to go take a 3rd and a 4th and throw it onto the side of Rachaad White right after he signs a deal and try to go, get Terry McLaurin and Derrick Henry, right? And like plug and play some veterans, like you could definitely try to contend, right? And I'm not gonna like lie to you about that. Like you could still make something of this team this year and give yourself a chance. But quite frankly, like I just want to get to a point where I feel like I'm working towards building, you know, an actual dynasty roster that I'm feeling good about for the long-term future. And like, as you already know, this quarterback room is in complete and utter disarray, and it's a super flex league. And like, this is just 1 year away from like being almost unsalvageable if things don't go the right way for you. And so I think personally, like the move we need to be making this year is let's punt. Let's go for the 2027 101. Let's like hold everything we can in liquidity. Like I know it sucks, but if you want to make Jamar Chase the only thing you hold to fight next year with, I actually don't hate that. But at the same time, you're probably going to get more out of tearing off them. That all being said, though, if you tear off to him too good of a player swap, then you are holding yourself into too much of the middle where then your pick's not going to be very good, right? And so you kind of have to tread water here. Here's where I would start. One, Matt Stafford's gone yesterday. I don't know if anybody needs quarterbacks in this Superflex league, but like he needs to be gone, like very gone. So this guy he's got quarterbacks. Is there anyone that needs quarterbacks in this league?
Not really. There's like two teams that have like all the picks, and then there's like three teams that are pretty solid, like definitely top contenders for the next few years for sure.
Okay, well, this guy has no firsts this year or next year, and I guess Jaden Daniels and Patrick Mahomes. So that's throwing me off because they're both injured.
And he won this year too with those two guys hurt.
Well, I mean, honestly, actually, dude, he's still a fit because Jaden Daniels will be back, but Mahomes probably isn't going to start the season. So he's either rolling with Shadur Sanders right out the gate, or he's going to, send a 27-second for Matt Stafford or something. So I think, okay, here's what we're going to do here. He's the previous winner, right?
Yep.
Yeah. This is the move. This is what I like here. Okay. Garrett Wilson's my target here. So let's see if I can go Matt Stafford and you were over here. He's a contender. So give me let's go Matt Stafford and T. Higgins and give me Garrett Wilson. Like, honestly, I would do that deal unequivocally right now. Maybe even if you could do, you've got this 302, Matt Stafford, T. Higgins, and the 302. Give me Garrett Wilson in his 27-second. That gives you some more liquidity for the future. I would send that right this minute, to be frank with you. That's where we're going to start because Garrett Wilson's a cornerstone. I can kind of start to build around here, especially if you're going to tear off Chase potentially. And like, if we can get, start stacking those 27 picks that are going to rise in value before next offseason. Yeah. Oh, Walsh has given me some good heads up here. He says, when I see an extra tight end in the starting spots here, it's because they're flexing them currently. So that helps a lot, Walsh. Appreciate you. It's not a format thing. Okay, yeah. So that's the first offer we're gonna make. Second, I know it's also unfortunate, but this guy right here, I know he's got tons of picks, but if we can throw anything onto the side of Bryce Young to get the 107, I would do it. If that won't happen, I would even take the 111 or 112 for Bryce Young. Personally, I would just rather move off the risk and just hold the liquidity in a skill position player for next year that you're hoping will give you some more upside. So I would do that one because unfortunately it doesn't seem like a ton of other people need quarterbacks. I mean, that's kind of all you're really at there. I mean, for the quarterback room, outside of that, we're going to contenders. Give me a 27 first and second for Saquon. When Breece Hall signed, you can hold Breece Hall for a second here because we know we're not playing for the season this year. So you can hold Breece Hall for, weeks, months, even to the start of the season if you want to. I'm doing the same thing. I need at least a 27 first and second for Breece Hall. I'll take that. Jamar Chase, I don't hate just like hoarding the whole 27 class at this point. Like, unfortunately, if you tier down too much, you're not going to be able to get the pit. I mean, you're putting yourself too much in contention. But since we're shredding the running back room, you're probably able to go like, could I go Jamar Chase down to George Pickens and get 2 firsts on top of it, and you throw your 27 third and fourth on it? Like, I would do that if you could get 2 27 firsts. Like, I don't know if there's anyone that has 2 27 firsts to give you. I would do that. Like, who has like a George Pickens or like a guy in that range that I would do here?
I think Pickens is on Panning's team, I believe. Should be, yep,
Yeah,
that one.
He is. Okay. Yeah, he's got no picks to give you. Unfortunate.
Yeah, his team is stacked.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen then. Let's see if we could.
The other guy that has all the picks is like Skirtis and Jamin, or however you say his name. Those are the guys with all the picks.
Yeah. Okay, he's got. Yeah, but these guys just aren't in the market to buy him.
No, that's the problem with this league.
Yeah, that is the problem. Well, then honestly, this is what we're doing, dude. You're going to hold Jamar Chase, and that's going to be like, you're going to hold Jamar Chase. You're going to hopefully get Garrett Wilson here, right? And those are going to be your 2 cornerstones that you're building around starting for next year. Everything else is going to go. Like I said, we're getting a first and second for Saquon. We're getting a first and second for Breece at some point during the season, or maybe even a little more. The second Malik Willis signs somewhere, you're like putting him on the trade block, and you're letting anybody field offers to you. Any first I'm taking, like, even if it's multiple seconds I'm taking, like, just give me liquidity, because the real issue is you're holding risk with Malik Willis. So if he doesn't play well this year, he's worth nothing next year, right? So just give me what I can take. Same thing on the bench. Rachaad White, second he signs, you're sending him. Jordan Mason, send him. Like, Aaron Jones has been cut. Will anyone give me a 27 second and third for Jordan Mason? I'll take it. And just walk the line. Same thing. If there's any Tyreek Hill buzz, give me a second. Give me anything here. Theo Johnson, you don't need him. Send him. I mean, if you want to hold on to him, fine. Play the long game. But I'd send Theo. I'd send Dalton Schultz. I'd send Colby Parkinson. Package him with your later round picks. Stack me firsts and seconds. If someone will pay for Mac Jones, like, do that. If not, wait a year with Mac Jones on your bench. He might be like your quarterback too a year from now. In fact, that's what we're going to do. We're going to hold Mac Jones. That's one of the only other pieces you're holding, because I think once he gets out of San Francisco, he's going to be a starter in the league. So that's what I'm doing with this team, honestly. And I know it's going to be a little bit non-pretty, but you've got other leagues. Hopefully, like, that, you can contend in some other ones, and I'd just play for 27 here.
Yeah, I'm contending in all my other leagues. This is just like the league that I'm just completely stuck in and didn't know what to do with. So,
yep, like I said, if you remember, and luckily this will get saved and posted on YouTube. So we're going Garrett Wilson for the T. Higgins and Matt Stafford thing. I'm sure you can make something around that work, or I hope so. And after that, like, we're hopefully building around Jamar Chase and Garrett Wilson and Mac Jones. All right, that's your core. Everybody else must go.
That's fair. What do you think about like taking at the 106? Who should I go there?
This is a non-tight end premium. Like, quite frankly, even then, I mean, you do need a young tight end for the future. So, like, I don't hate going Sadiq there, but probably non-tight end premium. We're just going to let the NFL draft play out a little bit and see, like, who gets the capital, right? Like, it'll probably go Love, then the wide receivers, then then Mendoza, or Mendoza mixed in there with the wide receivers through the 105. After that, like, we don't know what's going to happen, right? Does somebody swing on Omar Cooper Jr.? Does Denzel Boston get premium draft capital? Like, does Jonah Coleman somehow get massive, draft capital? Does Mike Washington get crazy draft capital, right? Like, I think, like, this one is a little too early for me to answer confidently. I think you kind of got to just let this shake out, and luckily you're in the Discord, so hopefully you can just follow along, and we'll sort out what's best to do at that pick. And quite frankly, man, like, if there's nobody there that you're absolutely sold on and someone else wants to take a swing, like, and you want to punt it into a 27 first, I don't entirely hate that, right? Like, I don't entirely hate it. So we can talk more about that when the time comes.
For sure. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, dude. Appreciate your support. Long time. You've been a homie since day one.
Yeah, been following along for a while, so I appreciate all your content, man.
Of course, dude. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. All right, next up on my list, like I said, guys, sorry, I'm going to try to speed some of these up so I can get through a few more here. I've got Africa next, I believe. So if you want to request, hop on in here. We can chat. I do remember we talked before too, so right on. We got you going Lord Snow. Yes, my computer even remembers you, man. There we go.
How's it going?
How's it going, bro? What's the league for today?
It is Game of Thrones.
All right, right on. While this loads, for my folks watching over on YouTube, if you haven't already joined the Discord and joined the queue in the live events for live roster reviews, go ahead and hop in. If I can't get to you today, I'm doing it every Sunday, so make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can turn your notification bells on and get alerted when I go live so you don't miss these chances. If you are not already a member of the Discord as well, make sure you join up. Nice and easy. You can go ahead and click the link in the description of this live stream, and you'll be good to go. I clicked Game of Thrones. It's Game of Thrones, isn't it?
No, I've got a Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones 1, 2, and 3, and then Game of Thrones Dynasty. So it's just the one that says just Game of Thrones.
Jesus, dude, my guy is an absolute DJ now here. I love scrolling
That's
through
right.
your guys'
It's at the bottom.
leagues. Okay, thank you. I'm losing my mind.
So go up a little bit. You'll see there, or the Iron Throne. My bad.
The Iron Throne, right on.
The first one. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. You guys are.
So it's a 10-person league with a bunch of my redraft friends from high school who we decided to do a dynasty. Mm-hmm. So we just drafted. We did the 26 picks because about 8 of the 10 people are super casuals. So I wasn't going to try and explain to them how to draft kickers. So we just randomized the 26 draft after the startup draft, and just so that everybody should have their own picks. So I got lucky, got the 104 just on a randomizer. We did like the 100-yard dash thing. It was kind of fun. But my main thing is, I know it's kind of messed up, but I think I can take advantage of some of the guys to gain some 27 picks early now. Some of the guys who I think have just bad rosters, and kind of, trade. Like Nico Collins is one of the guys I kind of want to try to get rid of because I'm not huge on him, but he was just the value when I could take him. And I think I could pair him with, a Michael Wilson or a guy of that caliber plus a 27 first on the way back. There's a couple guys who I think I can not take advantage of, but just kind of work the system a little bit. Because like I said, a bunch of them are just casuals who probably will log in Thursday morning to set their lineup and not really look at it again.
I feel that. Wait, dude, is the 104, is this accurate? You have the 104?
Yeah, like I said, we did the startup draft, and then we just randomized the 26 rookie draft, and I got the 104.
Yeah, that's lucky. Okay, I mean, bro, like coming out the startup, I'm gonna say, like, this is a really good team. I'm feeling great about it right now. I love the quarterback room you have. Like, Daniel Jones is the third is kind of perfect. I'm normally, like I've said before, and you probably heard me say it already on the stream, I normally don't hold 3 quarterbacks, but in your case, you kind of have the luxury to do so. Running back room looks great. I'd love to be 4 deep. I mean, Dobbins will get a deal somewhere, so I feel fine there. Like, I don't know if there's any market for Woody Marks out there, but he'd be a guy that I'd be like, could I tier up off Woody Marks right now? Like Woody Marks and a 3 and a 4, or like I'm not a Quentin Johnston guy, so like, does Woody Marks and Quentin Johnston together, get me up to like, ironically, I'd be trying to get Etienne, but like, is anybody scared about Scatabo? Like, could I get, Woody Marks, Quentin Johnston in this second and go get Cam Scat? Like, I'd love adding him to this roster. I think that would be like one of the places I'd start. But even if we got to just go budget here and just you're going to contend right out of the gate. So like, Derrick Henry's a prime buy on this roster in my opinion. Like, I would go Woody Marks and I do Woody Marks for Derrick Henry straight up personally, but I don't know if the other guy would. If not, like, if you got to add a 3rd or a 4th, I'm probably fine doing it in this format. I'm not feeling like too pressed about it. I'd love to have a 4th guy here. Outside of that, like, I think you were talking about potentially moving Nico, but he was there at value. I mean, honestly, I don't hate this wide receiver room. All you're really missing is like, I'm not a big QJ guy. You're missing like a vet, right? You're missing a Terry, a Sutton, a Devontae Adams. That's really all we need because Alec Pierce is about to get big money, and I think you're fine rolling with Alec Pierce for upside here if you want to, or at the very minimum, we could talk about taking Alec Pierce in a deal with, Woody Marks and somebody else and going and shopping higher, right? Like right after he signs somewhere, maybe someone's really excited. Like, does Alec Pierce with some change and a second and, throw Marks in there and whatever else, get me up to, the range of a George Pickens or something, maybe? That would be incredible. I doubt it, but I'd love to swing. Or even does that get me a Kyron Williams, right? And then I could have a fourth running back, and then I'll just go buy veteran receivers. Like I'll go buy Michael Pittman and Terry McLaurin or Devontae Adams or Cortland Sutton, right? Like I would be fine doing any of that. But dude, I'm not trying to switch up this team too much. I see the tight end premium here. I think my only thing would be I mean, you're going to probably flex 2 tight ends right out of the gate here too in a start 11.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I picked it the 101, so I had the turn, and like I said, some of the guys just made really, to us degens, just silly mistakes, what I would call them, of picking players. Like my one buddy, he's my best friend. We've been best friends forever. He's a huge Texas fan. He drafted Quinn Ewers in like the 10th round for fun. And it's like, things that would drive us crazy as people who take it serious. We're having beers on FaceTime, having fun. So, a lot of guys fell to me. I had the 101 and got.
It felt something like that just because out of a startup, this is a really good roster. Like, I'm not trying to glaze you, but you definitely got some pretty crazy value. Like, being able to stack these 3 running backs on top of the quarterbacks you got, on top of these wide receivers is I would never be able to do this unless I was moving around modularly like crazy in a startup and getting lucky, right? So, and you're about to add with the 104 here. So, sorry, not to cut you short or anything too much, but you know what you're doing. You're in a million leagues. I think all I'd be telling you to do at this point is, the simple stuff. Let's move off QJ and Woody Marks and whatever. You're going to reload at 104. I want a 4th running back. Give me Derrick Henry. Outside of that, dude, just don't overcomplicate it. You're probably going to win this year. So.
Yeah, it's it's $150 league too, so the payouts over $1,000, so it's well worth it to I kind of knew first year I could probably compete, and then maybe at the end of the season try and sell off some guys and get some 27 picks, because a lot of these guys aren't going to pay any attention until the draft starts, so I can probably try and wheel and deal a little bit at the end of the season, or if injuries happen and it falls apart, you could try and sell some guys for picks mid-season to people who think they're going to compete and stuff. So I just kind of wanted to see the wide receiver room, because I know I've got those 3 guys who are pretty, good quality. Mm-hmm. Nico's the only guy, personally, I just, I'm not a fan of Stroud and that whole Texans offense. So it's super, I'm just super cautious of the whole offense. But I can, also always flip him mid-season if he's doing great. Or, I don't know what people are going to pick at. I know the guy who's got the 2nd pick is going to take Mendoza and the 1st pick's Love. So I'm probably getting the 2nd choice of the 3 wide receivers.
Well, that's the thing. You could probably take Jordan Tyson there and feel really good about it, or whoever you favor, obviously. But not to cut you off, the only other thing I'd say is, if you do want to get ahead of it and move off Nico, and these guys aren't big brain, dynasty heads that know all the value and stuff, and they don't know that the 27 class is going to be great. Dude, we've talked about it before, and you heard my spiel earlier. Nico scored 227 fantasy points last year or whatever, but a guy like Zay Flowers has, half the name value, right? And he scored almost the same amount of points, right? And so, I would say, if you could go off Nico and get Zay Flowers in a 27 first, I think you just do it, right? Because you're going to add another premium wide receiver at that 104, and whatever the point differential might be, it's obviously going to be made up for 1 year from now. And again, in a league like this, dude, you could go buy a vet by week 5 or 6 of the season to somebody's team that isn't going well out of the startup, and you get a Terry, you get a Sutton, you get a Devontae Adams, and you're still fine. You still got a top 14 guy that you're not threatened by. And then the only other thing I was going to say, which is this is a tight end premium league. I don't know if these guys are dynasty heads. They don't sound like they are. You probably don't need to hold both these guys, and the 27 class is pretty loaded. And I typically, if I'm only have one tight end starting spot in a league like this, I'm not unless I have a Bowers, a McBride, a Warren, a Loveland, I'm normally fine just being like, screw it, dude. Like, if you're halfway through the season and these guys are like, oh, you need a good tight end, I need a young tight end, like, I'm panicking. Like, fine, dude. Like, ship Harold Fannin in a third and a fourth and get me Dalton Schultz in a 27 first, like, fine, I'll ride Schultz for 2 years, I'll ride Mark Andrews for 2 years, like, I'll ride AJ Barner, like, you can pick up these guys that are still going to give you like decent performances at tight end for a fraction of the price. So I think that's what I would do, like, just if you wanted to get savvy and start printing those 27 firsts halfway through the year and just be like, yeah, it's fine, like, if my team's good, like, I'll just buy a vet, I'll ride it out, the rest of my roster's loaded, and then next year I'm going to come out with like 5 studs,
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I think I knew it was a contending roster. I just kind of needed a little bit of in-between picks and advice just to see if there was something, a little boost. I like the idea for the vets and then maybe to go get a vet running back as well. I think I could probably easily swing those.
Hell yeah, man. You got this, bro. Appreciate you coming through.
Appreciate it.
Sure, I'll see you next week. You got a million leagues, so we'll dive through them all by the end of the year.
Yeah, I'll try and pick one for next week that I think I got the best chance in. We'll talk again.
Hell yeah, man. You got it. All right. Let's hop to the next one. We've got that was Africa. We got Dose. Dose has been patiently waiting. Dose, you are next, my man. Cash for TU. Okay. If you want to come up and speak, go ahead and click the hand button in the top right. If not, I'll just rip what I got for you. Okay, cool. There he is. While we wait for him to load in, guys, friendly reminder to hop over to the Dynasty Price Check website, www.dynastypricecheck.com. That's where we are doing all of these awesome reviews at. The Dynasty Decoder is one of the best tools out there for you guys to visually see your rosters, see all the leagues you're in and anybody else's leagues if you want. You can look at your trades and transactions here and see every trade that's been made nice and easy. We've also got my rankings on the website. We've got the Dynasty Price Exchange where you can look up what trades are being done in my league, specifically by player, and not just my league, my listener league economy. So real leagues with real competitive Dynasty players, and see what real player values are, as some of these other trade databases are just going to give you a bunch of fluff. So go ahead and dive on in. Friendly reminder, if you are watching, go ahead and join the Discord as well. It is the link in the description here, and you guys can be a part of these for the future. I do see UOA Bubba saying, what is Pittman worth? A late second. I would say a mid-second at least. He's one of my guys. Like, I buy him a ton on contending rosters just because he's had 4 top 20 finishes in the last 5 years. And one of those years played with Anthony Richardson and had a broken back. So I think Pittman is just one of those consistent, easy production guys that if I'm contending, I love to throw in a flex spot and not lose any sleep over. And then he said, I'm about to do a startup and I want to punt for next year. How would you trade back? I saw the one video of you talking about it, but do you have a spreadsheet on like how you would trade all the spots? No, I don't have like a specific spreadsheet, but I would say like trading in a startup is one of the hardest things to do. Quite frankly, man, like this is going to be almost an impossible question for me to answer like quickly on stream. I would hop in the Discord and tag me in the Dynasty discussion section, and I'm happy to kind of give you like a little bit of direction in like a paragraph format. All right. Dose, what's up, man? Thanks for waiting, bro. Appreciate you coming through. What can I do for you here?
All right, so I'm totally new to Dynasty, or let alone fantasy in general. It's my first year doing it, so I don't know what I'm really getting into. And then my account's going to be the one with the no name.
This one? Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, first year to Dynasty, welcome. You've joined the ranks of the most fun style of fantasy to play, and glad you found us early and got a good community to lean on here in the Discord. Definitely post your trades in the trade center and get some feedback so you're not getting fleeced. Because it is hard to value draft picks and stuff in the beginning, especially if you have not played a ton. But it looks like a 12-team start 11. Is it no tight end premium or anything like that?
Yeah, and it's in like tiered PPR league, whatever that means.
Tiered PPR. Okay, gotcha. All right, that makes sense. Okay, Superflex or no Superflex?
No Superflex.
Okay, cool. But we do have some defensive spots. How many defense do you play?
I think we're getting rid of those defensive spots this year, so it doesn't really.
Okay, all right, no worries. I was just wondering if we were factoring in IDPs because you got Will Anderson, you got some good guys on here. Okay, all good. All right, so Jaden Daniels, Derrick Henry, Travis Etienne, Ashton Jeanty. I mean, I like the build so far. Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave, A.J. Brown, Jacoby Myers. All right, love the build so far. Got Kyler Murray back there. Wide receivers, Brian Thomas, Matthew Golden, Deebo Samuel. Yeah, I mean, man, I'm not gonna give you a whole lot of feedback here outside. Like, I like this team a lot. I think if you're new to Dynasty, obviously, you know, like I'm not gonna just hit you with the Bose with like the basic, like, you know, obviously you gotta balance production and youth, and you already know that, but you know, you've got picks in the future. Like, I'd be holding on to that 27 first, you know, just the class looks strong. So, you know, that's only going to accumulate in value. I don't think you need to trade them away right now. You got a couple seconds next year, which is nice. That probably gives you the flexibility to make some midseason moves. Now, the wide receiver core, personally, I'm really not doing anything to. You've got, you know, 3 studs there in Olave, Jefferson, and Brown. And then Brian Thomas, if he comes back to life here, could just be the sweetener or, you know, nail in the coffin for the rest of your league mates out there. Running back room, like you got Genty, which is great. So you got the young core, and then obviously Etienne's going to get a nice deal here. Derrick Henry's kind of your vet. I would say, like, again, you know, the one of those 27 seconds, if you were so, you know, curious to do so and you wanted to go 4 deep, I always kind of like having 4 deep, especially in a deeper like start 11 format. So like if you wanted to send what you think the later of those seconds is going to be, probably yours if you're going to try to contend to get a DeAndre Swift. In fact, maybe even one of those 28 seconds, since the 27 class is, you know, getting crazy value. Like I would consider doing that. Maybe we go like, you know, Matthew Golden in one of those seconds, and you know, I'd be fine even sending the 27 third, because it doesn't mean a whole lot to me. And maybe even want to throw Tajay Spears on there, kind of just pack stuff along the side. I don't know if this is like a veteran dynasty league of guys that know what they're doing, or if you guys kind of all switched over from redraft so people don't have great values yet. Like I would be aiming for that mid-range of like, you know, Javonte Williams, Cam Scadaboo, like guys kind of in there, you know, maybe Kyron Williams is a little rich, but I would still go for it. Like, yeah, let's take Matthew Golden, a second, a third, Tajay Spears, throw him some guck. Like, would anybody fall for anything like that or no?
I have no idea. They're so weird with trading in this league. It's so difficult to get a trade through.
For sure. Well, I mean, yeah, try to start with some bad stuff. If it goes, great. If it doesn't, then, you know, again, like a 28 second for like David Montgomery or something to give you, you know, a 4th running back, just so you feel like you can sleep a little better at night, right? And got another flex spot, I think would be totally good with. But Jacoby's got upside here, and the rest of your room is good. Like, again, I don't mean to like shortchange you or cut you short here. I just think that this is a good team that I don't really want to shake up too much of. And at the 106, you're gonna have another chance to, you know, add another good pick. So, Stan, give your opinion on the AJ Brown trade that Dose did. What was the AJ Brown trade? I'm curious.
It was, I forgot what it was. It was so I traded Roman Dunze the 26 104 for Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Jacoby Myers, and a 27 second.
Nice. Yeah, I'm good with that. But yeah, dude, honestly, this is a good team. I think you roll with it. See how the season starts. You know, you got the community in the Discord. You can always tag me. You can, you know, obviously MJ Walsh and some of the other guys that know what they're doing here. Kyle the Caveman, you know, whatever. Like you're able to get some deals done, I think, throughout the year. But I just wouldn't shake it up. Maybe, like I said, shop around for that 4th RB and you know, hold on to your picks for now, like the first rounders, you know, and just give yourself some leeway here. This is a good start. So yeah, let's see how the year goes.
Oh yeah, what RBs were you looking for again? Like, what do you recommend looking for?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, like let's feel out the league economy. Like I always like to like start playing in that middle range of, like I was saying, like, you know, maybe the upper middle range is that, you know, Kyron Williams range, but then leveling out more in the middle is like closer to Travis Etienne, right? It's like Javonte Williams, Ken Walker, Cam Scat, like, you know, those guys. And then if you need to and just go a little lower because no one's going to move off those guys, then like I think DeAndre Swift, right, is like kind of that nice mid-range of like DeAndre Swift, maybe to David Montgomery, maybe a Chuba Hubbard, you know, but like I would mostly be looking at Swift just because I think he's got the most ability to kind of just give you, you know, proven, sustained production for like the range of like about a 2nd round pick, you know, maybe a second in Tajay Spears or something like that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate you coming through. Like I said, I don't even mean to shortchange you, but I just wouldn't really get too stir crazy here. I like the build, and I think you've got a good runway ahead of you here. So, maybe nothing too crazy. If someone's willing to pay a second or more for Jonathan Brooks, I'd probably take that just for some extra liquidity too, just because I think after those major knee injuries and stuff, it's really tough to come back. But I'm just not the biggest believer. But that's about all I got.
All right, just before I do head out,
Yeah.
can you check Hurton for it? Because he's the one that won last year. I don't know how would you compare my team to that?
Yeah, sorry. Which one was it again?
Team XX Hurton for it.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Thank you.
He's pretty stacked on RBs.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a great running back room, but like, I don't think it's I think you have a way better wide receiver room. So I think, like I said, like, yeah, he's good for sure. He's got great running backs, but you should get better production out of Genty this year. Etienne, Henry, they'll keep you alive. Like I said, like, this is why obviously he's got a Kyron, but if you were to add a Javonte Williams in here, I'd feel really good about it. Outside of that, like, I love Tyler Warren, but no, dude, any given week you can contend with this team, So
okay.
I think, yeah, don't psych yourself out. This is a good look.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. All right, thanks for coming through. Guys, I think I've been able to make it through most everybody. The only two I haven't that I recognize aren't regulars. Kyle, if you do want one, I know you've been in here. Same with Swaggy. Like, I'm happy to talk with you guys a little bit or whatever, but I know we break it down all the time. But by all means, if you want in, I do see Kev and Dim-Witted. Those are the last two I got here that I don't believe I've talked to before. So Kev, if you want to go real quick, I'm happy to go. I'm just gonna give you guys the disclaimer. I'm burning out. I recorded Trade Titans before this as well. So Kev, why don't you request to speak? Give me your Sleeper username. Let's rip through it. And then Dim-Witted, if you do want to do one real quick afterwards, I'll try to crank one more, and then I'm gonna call it. Cause yeah, all right on. We'll blow through these. Sorry guys, don't mean to shortchange it. I've been recording and speaking for a little bit over 3.5 hours now, so I am tired. What's up, Kev? What's the
yo? Which username did you need? My sleeper or?
Yes, sir.
I think it's the same as my Discord. It should be.
Well, that would be great. All right, let's see. All right, which league you thinking? 302 or if you're not first, you're last?
If you're not first, you're last.
Right on. Sweet baby Jesus, 6 pounds, 7 ounce. Yeah, all right. Kev, right there. All right, 10 team, start 11, half point PPR. You got the 101. True 101. Did you trade for it or no? You did
Traded for it. I finished second this year, actually. I took over an orphan last year and basically tried to get younger and somehow finished second still.
Nice.
But hoping to compete this year, hopefully.
All right, well, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Bucky, Trav. I got any running back depth down here? I guess you got Dowdle, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Rashi Rice, Luther Burden, Wandale. Love the Wandale grab. And Njoku's not bad to have backup. He's probably going to sign somewhere decent. We got Jaden Higgins down here. Okay, all right. And you got the 101 coming in. All right, easy one for you, dude. Love this team. You already know it's good. I don't need to glaze you too much. So no offense, but this is going to be like a 5-minute review because I've got quick ones for you. One, dude, I don't think you even need to like hold the risk that you have here in DJ Moore or Rashi Rice personally. So like if there's a market for DJ Moore, I'm probably like printing some liquidity off of it or like, working on a tier up trade. So like, whatever, DJ Moore, and I know you've already shipped your seconds and thirds and fourths. That's a great process. That's normally what I do. But, like if DJ Moore and, Rico Dowdle gets a deal here in a second, if you want to try to flip these two and move yourself up, and get a Zay Flowers or, try to get a Javonte Williams or something, just a more long-term guy that, gives you more depth at the starting spot, I'd do it for sure. And I think that's be like point number one. Point number two, like I want Rice off this roster yesterday. I know the market's probably not great
I've been
for
trying.
him, but like I'd take as little as the 105, 106 for him personally. I don't even know if you could get that. If you couldn't, then maybe again we look at a Cam Scat, a Javonte Williams, someone in that mid-range running back area. I think that's like probably maybe some of the other best you'd get at this point, and that would be kind of where I'm at. Outside of that, like, you know, you could obviously ride Burden here because he's probably going to do plenty well for you, especially in the wide receiver 3 spot, which I don't hate. But on top of that, like, I would say, like, Wan'Dale Robinson, you know, is going to be a fine guy that you can play, you know, and Jack Bash might get a little play here. Jaden Higgins might, you know, be a little factor for you, but I would say like that's really where I look. Like DJ Moore, Rashee Rice, let's move off a little bit. Outside of that, everything else looks pretty good, man. Like I'd like to get deeper at running back, but you're about to get the 1-on-1. So I'd like to be 4 deep, you know? So, I mean, Dowdle could be your 4th, but you know, can I add some gook like Jordan Mason and throw, you know, one of these wide receiver depth guys that you got on there, like Pat Bryant? It means nothing to me in this and whatever, like go to a rebuilder and take Jordan Mason, Pat Bryant, and a 4th and just say, like, I'll buy any, you know, vet you got. Like give me either another veteran running back to put me deeper or you know, a Mike Evans, right, for a 1-year rental just for the fun of it. So you got an extra flex spot. But that's about all I got for you on this one, unless you got any, like, super specific trade offers that are coming through.
No, I've been trying to trade away Rashee Rice a lot for picks, but nobody's really biting. So I'm almost at the point where I feel like I just have to hold him and just pray.
Yeah, no, I mean,
But I don't know.
you might be there, but like I said, maybe get creative, see if you can like do some player swaps or something, and just because like they're names that aren't as exciting, you know, maybe you get lucky. But I would at least, you know, explore around. But like you said, you might be stuck holding at least until you know, you get more news down the pipeline. But yeah, man, good
I have gotten a
squad.
lot of offers for Justin Jefferson. What would you say would be fair to pivot off of him? Like, what would
Yeah.
you? Because it's hard to obviously pivot off of him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really just not a huge fan of doing it right now. I mean, like, I'd have to get like bare minimum. I'd need like to go Jefferson and you could throw your 29 second, and I'd need George Pickens and 2 firsts. You know, like if you do that, like I guess if you wanted to go Jefferson down to Drake London in a 27 first and second, I would do that, you know, but like, again, that's probably just not getting done a lot these days. You know, so,
Yeah.
and like, that's where the tier break is, right? Is like, that's the issue for me is like, you know, you kind of got all these guys going in the first round and then looping into the second. And then like after Jefferson, it's Drake London. And then for me, it's like a big tier break. Like I don't really want to go from like Drake London to Nico Collins, you know, or Drake London to Garrett Wilson or whatever, you know, or Drake London to Lad McConkey. Right. And so it's like, that's why you're kind of playing with fire, is because like, if you're going to tier to Drake and you could do like a, you know, get a first in there somehow, you could throw a 3rd and a 4th and get a first. Yeah. Happy day, right? We're all going home smiling, but I don't know. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the review. I guess the last question I would have is, if you look at Bad News Bears, he's the other best team.
Mm-hmm.
He needs running backs. Do you have any suggestions to throw at him?
Like for you to sell a running back?
Yeah, like obviously since I'm getting Love, do you think I could afford giving up like Bucky Irving and something else for picks or wideouts or anything from him? He's been trying to do a lot of trades. He's the number 1 team basically.
Is he?
But
well, I mean, here's the only
he's
thing
just
I'd
deep
say.
as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, here's the only thing I'd say. Like, if you want to get creative and he needs running backs, right? And you feel like you could, like, I'm just curious what your league economy looks like. Like, if you can go out there and buy Javantes and Kyrens and Scats and, you know, Ken Walkers and Derrick Henrys and whatever, then, like, sure, let's move off Bucky Irving because you're going to get Jeremiah Love and you got Travis Etienne. And then, like, you could still be 4 deep with Swift and Henry, and I wouldn't hate it, right? Like, if you can get other backs in there, if you want to get creative and offer him, like, you know, Bucky Irving and Rashee Rice and try to go, you know, get Tedero McMillan and T Higgins and or like, you know, or Tet and a 27 first or whatever else, like, yeah, I'm good with that, right? Like, I'm good with doing a deal like that and getting creative with it, but at the same time, like, I would caution you to, like, if the league economy is hard to get running backs, then like I would maybe line some other deals up first before you pull a trig on sending years away. Because I always like to be 4 deep at running back personally.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of hard to trade in this league with most of them, and running backs actually perform a little higher than wideouts because of some bonuses and shit.
I would imagine so. I mean, they do just in general these days. That's the way football is skewing. So, but yeah. All right, man. Tag me if you need me, or throw it in the trade center. I'm sure the community will be happy to help you out. Appreciate you waiting and coming through. Dim-witted, let's rip it, man. Let's rip it one more, and then your boy has got to go. I'm tired. All right. Dim-witted, I see you in here. We've got... Okay, cool. There we go. All right. What is the league we got here? Sorry, you're muted.
Oh, sure. Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
No, all good.
It's the first one.
Okay, cool. All right. What are we working with here? We've got dim-witted.
It's at the bottom. It's the second.
Oh, yeah, this one. Right on. All right. 12 teams, start 10. Joe Burrow, Caleb Williams, Ashton Genty, Judkins, Dobbins, St. Brown, Neighbors, Pickens, Moore. Okay, I like the wide receiver room. QBs, yeah, it's fine.
My main thing right now is I have no depth at all. So,
yeah. How'd you do last year?
So at the start of the season, when I picked up the team, I ended up trading. So I thought it was a good trade at the time. I traded Jason and Kincaid for Burrow, and then Burrow got injured.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, and then Neighbors got injured too, so I decided to tank.
Fair enough. Okay, well, I mean, team looks good. Honestly, you're going to get another premium wide receiver here at the 104 if you want to stick and pick. I will tell you, like, on a team like this one, your wide receiver room is really built out. I wouldn't worry too much about taking this pick. This would be probably one of those times that I'd tell somebody, like, this 104 is better invested in, like, a running back, like you got Genty and Judkins, but, obviously his, like, injury, might keep him out a little bit. I think he'll start the season, but, Dobbins is free agent, so that then you'll kind of be 3 deep. But, like, I mean, if this 104 could get me, like Breece Hall, I would do it. If the 104 could get me Kyron plus, I would do it. Like, I think I would be definitely exploring that range, of running backs, like maybe even JT, if someone's worried about like, oh, he's getting older, he's 27.
The JT owner has been trying to sell him to me for the 104, but I haven't been sure because it's a huge sell.
Yeah, to be frank, I'm fine with it. Like, I think a lot of people are way lower on JT than I am. Like, he's 27. It's not like he's 30. You're going to get 3 really solid years out of him. Yeah, the second half of the season didn't look as good, but the second half of the season, he didn't have Daniel Jones, and, that Colts team was suffering injuries left and right. And then they make the Sauce trade, and he gets hurt, and the win takes out of the sales. Like, there's a lot that goes into the psychology of all that kind of stuff. So I just think, if he like would do it for even a little more, and you want to like get creative here, like I don't know if he needs a wide receiver, but like
he's on the top. His name is drive a guy, dude. His team is stacked, so
yeah, his team is stacked. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I'd consider I'd consider seeing what you could do for like, yeah, dude, like he's got enough depth here. Like, could I get DJ Moore swapped with either of these 3 guys in a deal with that, right? Like, just to sweeten it a little bit, like, give me Jonathan Taylor. I'll give you the 104. Like, give me Jonathan Taylor and either Burden, Adunze, or Waddle, whichever one he'll do. Like, take your most likely pick or what you think you can get done, and give him the 104 and DJ Moore. I think like that's totally fair process trade to do. Probably ends up coming on the winning side for you. That's what I would do if I were you. And honestly, outside of that, like, I'm not really doing a lot. I think you're kind of running it back because you just got unlucky with injuries this last year, right? Like St. Brown, Neighbors, Pickens, like you've got 3 of the top 12 wide receivers here that are going to, go hard for you. And if, like I said, you execute a solid running back here, you got 3 deep. Dobbins gets a deal somewhere. At that point, like what, you want to take the 212 and go get, you could throw somebody on the side of him here and see if you go get David Montgomery. But hey, Tony Pollard might land a deal somewhere. You never know. He could be in rotation in Jacksonville if they move on from, ETN or something like that. So again, I think, not to shortchange you, but yeah, like I don't want to get too stir crazy and shake the whole roster up. Like you got unlucky, you got premium receivers, you got your cornerstones, your quarterbacks are really solid. Like, yeah, let's make that deal. Let's see if I can get a 4th receiver that isn't DJ Moore, and let's see if I can get JT, and I'm fine moving the 104, and you still got your, future picks. Like you got a 27 first, so I feel fine.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate you doing this for free. Thank you.
Of course, man. Yeah, I appreciate you guys and the support, bro. Like, you guys have been awesome over on YouTube, helping me grow, and you guys are awesome in the community. So let's just keep this Discord growing, dude. Let's get more leagues this year. Let's have a fun time, boys.
All right, thanks.
Hell yeah, man. All right, guys, with all that being said, thank you so much for coming around today. This was a super long one. I recorded for hours before this as well for the Tuesday episode of Trade Titans with Dynasty Endgame. This is going to be an awesome one, so make sure you guys come through and check it out. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please come through, and we'd be happy to have you. We are growing quick over here at Dynasty Price Check, launching listener leagues, having a blast, and you guys have been great support in the community. To my Discord members, and most of all, my incredible moderator and web designer, MJ Walsh, over here. If you guys have not already, go to dynastypricecheck.com. Check out all the tools like the Dynasty Decoder, our player rankings, the price exchange. We've got so much on the way for you guys. He is adding new features every single day, so much so that I can't even keep up with the man because he's such a beast. If you want to join a listener league, go ahead and click the listener leagues button right here to go ahead and sign up to get on the wait list. And finally, like I said, we're all free over here. We're not asking for anything. If you guys appreciate me at all, go click this Buy Me a Coffee link in the top corner here if you want to buy me a coffee, since I've been talking at you for 4 hours straight without breathing. But seriously, it don't matter, because this is what we're about here. We're trying to do some good in the Dynasty community, and I just appreciate you guys giving me a platform to talk to you. So let's run it back again next week. We got videos coming at you this week. Everybody take care. Cheers. And I will see you in the next one.